And now, live from Christiansburg, Virginia, it's God Squad Live.
Hello and welcome to God Squad Live. I'm Caleb.
I'm Elijah. And I'm Steven.
Each week we will bring you the latest story about what God is doing.
Today we are going to talk about when Jesus was a child. So let's get started.
After Jesus was born, some wise men followed a star to Bethlehem to find the new king of the Jews.
The wise men worshiped Jesus as a king.
I think that one of the wise men is here in the studio with us today.
Welcome, wise man.
Can you tell us a little bit about your journey to visit Jesus?
Yes, we were at home east of Jerusalem and we saw a big star. We were told to follow the star and go see Jesus so that we could worship him.
Did you talk to anyone along the way?
Yes, we stopped to talk to King Herod. We thought he would know where Jesus was.
Did he?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't know about Jesus being born as King of the Jews. In fact, he seemed pretty jealous.
What did you do after visiting with Herod?
Herod sent us to go and find Jesus. He told us he wanted to go worship him too.
How did you know where Jesus was?
We followed a star in the sky and it led us directly to Jesus' house.
What did you do when you got there?
We saw Jesus and Mary, his mother. We immediately bowed down and worshiped Jesus.
Did you bring anything to him?
We brought gifts of gold, incense, and myrrh. Here's some gold.
What happened next?
Well, we were warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, so we went home a different way.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Yes, we actually didn't see Jesus when he was a baby. He was about 2 years old when we got there. Somehow, most people think we got there when he was just born.
Wow, that is a good thing to learn. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you for coming in today. We enjoyed having you.
Bye.
After the wise men left, an angel told Joseph in a dream to leave Bethlehem because King Herod wanted to kill Jesus.
So Mary and Joseph went to Egypt until Herod died. They went back to Israel and lived in Nazareth. Jesus grew up in Nazareth.
Every year, Jesus' parents traveled to Jerusalem for the Passover feast. Passover was the biggest holiday for the Jewish people.
Many people traveled to Jerusalem to celebrate and remember when God rescued them from slavery in Egypt.
When Jesus was 12 years old, Jesus and his family went to Jerusalem together. When it was time to go home, Mary and Joseph began traveling into Nazareth with a large group of people.
They didn't notice that Jesus was not with them. They thought he was among the group of travelers, but Jesus was not with the group. He had stayed behind in Jerusalem.
I think that we have Mary coming into the studio to tell us about this.
Let's welcome Mary.
Thank you so much for coming all this way to be with us today.
I'm glad to be here today. We are talking about the time when you and Joseph left Jerusalem and Jesus stayed behind.
Can you tell us about that time?
Yes. Joseph and I had a great time in Jerusalem. When we left, we assumed Jesus was there since we were traveling in a large group, and there were lots of younger children that we needed to watch, and we didn't realize Jesus wasn't with us.
What happened next?
Well, after we had been traveling for about a day, we started looking for Jesus. We checked with our friends, but we couldn't find him.
What happened next?
Joseph and I went back to Jerusalem. We searched everywhere. I was afraid I had lost God's son.
How long did it take to find him?
Well, the city was so big, he could have been anywhere. Finally, after 3 days, we found him.
Where was he?
He was in the temple talking with the leaders. I was so relieved.
Mary, thank you for telling your story.
Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Yes, it took me a while to find God's son, but today we don't have to search for him. Anyone can find him and become a Christian.
Thank you for coming, Mary.
You're welcome. I liked being on TV with you.
Jesus is very busy these days and couldn't be here in our studio live today. But he is with our top 2 Peak reporters right now at Noah's Ark. Nathaniel and Josiah?
We're the Peak Reporters, and we're here with Jesus on Noah's Ark. Jesus, we are talking today about the time that you stayed behind in Jerusalem, when your parents headed back home. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, when I was 12 years old, I went with my parents to Jerusalem. Joseph, my earthly dad, showed me around town. I was especially interested in the temple and what happens there.
We hear that your parents left Jerusalem to head home and you stayed behind. What were you doing there?
I spent most of my days in the temple, like talking with all the religious leaders in my father's house.
Wait, I thought that Joseph was your dad. Did he live in the temple?
Well, no, Joseph is my earthly dad. God the Father is my dad. The temple is his house.
Well, anyway, what were you doing at the temple?
Well, I was talking with the religious leaders about the Old Testament scriptures. I really enjoyed hearing what they thought about the scriptures. You know that I know all those guys, like Abraham, Moses, David, Noah. You know I know all of them personally, right?
Yes, I keep forgetting that though. What happened when your parents found you at the temple?
Well, they're pretty surprised. Mom told me that they were worried and had been looking everywhere for me.
What did you say then?
I asked why she was looking for me and reminded her that I had to be in my father's house. I'm not sure that she understood though.
Did you go home with them then?
Yes, I went home with them after that and obeyed them.
Well, that's about all the time we have here. Is there anything you would like to say to the boys and girls before we go?
Yes, boys and girls, please believe in me. I love all you very much and even down on the cross for you.
Thank you so much, Jesus, for that and everything you've told us in the information. Now back to the God Squad in the studio.
Thanks, Peak Reporters. As Jesus grew up, he became even wiser.
God was pleased with him, and so was everyone who knew him.
Thanks to everyone for joining us today. We'll see you soon.
Well, that's about all we have for today's show.
Join us next time on God Squad Live when we talk about the day that Jesus got baptized.
Bye! I'm not going to make the same mistake I did last time.